Alright, let's talk about the wild possibilities that could unfold on The Bold and the Beautiful if Carter's dark past comes into play. Now, we've never really gotten a deep dive into Carter's history. We know next to nothing about his family or what skeletons are rattling around in his closet. But hey, if we've learned something from soap operas, it's that nobody's perfect, and everyone's got a few secrets. So why not introduce someone from Carter's past who holds a grudge and is ready to blackmail him? It would shake things up in a way no one saw coming. Imagine the drama. Carter, who's always been so composed, now backed into a corner by someone who knows too much. This could be the perfect storm to unravel his career and force him to confront whatever mess he's been trying to keep buried. Speaking of twists, what if Thomas returned just at the right moment? We know that he's been a master at causing chaos, especially when it comes to Hope. After all, he's obsessed with her, but this time he's trying to be the good guy by telling her to move on. You're right. As soon as he hears about Hope and Carter getting cozy, Thomas's "let's move on" mantra will be out the window, and he'll be back to his old tricks. You just know he won't be able to resist stirring the pot once he finds out Hope's moving on with someone else. And then there's the whole Steffi situation. Let's be real, Steffi has been riding high on her throne for a while. She's constantly winning, never facing the consequences of her actions. It's honestly getting exhausting to watch. It's time for Steffi to get a little karma, don't you think? She needs to stop playing queen and start facing some hard truths. The whole FC mess? Steffi had a huge hand in it. From the way she handled Hope's firing to her shady behavior with the Logans, Steffi's the one who stirred the pot, and now she's trying to act like she's above it all. Now, let's take a moment to talk about Hope. She's been through so much lately. Carter, Thomas, Steffi, and let's not forget her own mental health struggles. Hope's been acting a little erratically, and it would be great to see her get some real therapy. I'm not talking about Taylor here, no offense to Taylor, but Hope needs someone with a more grounded approach to help her work through everything. A therapist who's not emotionally entangled with the family drama could give Hope the support she really needs. Therapy isn't a quick fix, but it would be refreshing to see Hope take a step toward healing. And hey, I know some fans are really not fans of Hope, and I get it. The pairing just doesn't feel right to a lot of people. There's a lot of tension when you throw Carter into the mix, especially with his history of making questionable decisions. But the whole thing with Carter and Hope is really showing the crack in Steffi's so-called leadership. She's been out of line more than once, and it's time she owns up to it. If Steffi's going to be in the driver's seat, she needs to stop treating everyone like pawns and start taking responsibility for the messes she's created. With all these clears in the motion, it's clear we're in for a wild ride on The Bold and the Beautiful. Who knows what's coming next? Maybe Thomas will finally face the consequences of his actions, or maybe Carter's past will catch up with him in a way we never expected. Either way, there's no shortage of drama ahead. Now, Katie's role in Forrester Creations' PR game has always been tricky, especially when it comes to the drama surrounding Hope and her future at the company. As a seasoned PR pro, Katie knows how to handle delicate situations, but even she might be sweating when it comes to giving advice on Hope's latest predicament. After all, she already told Ridge and Steffi that firing Hope could be a total disaster. Now the question is, will she give her ex, Carter, and her niece, Hope, the same advice? It's definitely a tightrope walk for Katie. On one hand, Hope's her further future line is in serious trouble, and Steffi's not one to go easily when the numbers aren't adding up. We saw Steffi's irritation when the projects came in, showing that FTF isn't pulling its weight. And let's not forget the tension between Steffi and Hope, which has only been exasperated by Hope's flirtation with Carter. Katie's PR advice in this case will have to be a balancing act. If she advises Carter to backtrack or go against Steffi's wishes, it could put him in a really awkward spot, publicly contradicting the company's press release, especially after Steffi and Katie put it out. The real question is, how does Katie handle this PR mess without getting tangled up in it herself? If Steffi decides to ask hope for the future entirely, Katie might be left holding the bag, trying to spin this as a positive move for the brand. I mean, how do you promote a move that essentially dismantles a key part of the family business, especially when everyone knows the faces of the company are being overthrown? It's a nightmare for any PR person, and Katie's the one caught in the middle of it all. And let's not forget, back in the day, Bill was a huge influence on the world of Forrester Creations. If this kind of drama had happened during his reign, he would have written a big juicy article about it in the Eye fashion magazine. Bill knew how to keep things interesting, but nowadays he's more likely to be found lounging at home rather than stirring the pot at the office. Could you imagine Bill's commentary on this whole situation? It'd definitely spice things up a bit. While Katie's ethics might be questionable at times, especially with her past with Bill and her complicated history with her sister, there's no denying her experience. She's been through a lot herself, from handling a tumultuous marriage to dealing with postpartum depression to trying to stay sane with some of the most questionable therapists. Hello, Taylor. She knows how to handle a crisis. So when she steps in to advise up in Carter, you know she's doing it with a cool head and plenty of experience to back her up. In the end, Katie might have to decide whether to stay true to her PR principles or just go with the flow and help her family navigate this chaotic storm. It's a delicate dance of loyalty, business, and strategy. Will she be able to convince Ridge and Steffi to back down, or will she end up cleaning up a much bigger mess? Guess we'll have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be an entertaining ride. While we're at it, Christmas is fast approaching. And the big question everyone's asking, will Brooke be spending Christmas with her daughter and Carter at her mansion, or will she find herself under the Forrester roof, surrounded by Ridge and the family? Brooke's caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, there's her daughter Hope and her partner in secret, Carter, plotting a revenge attack on Forrester Creations. On the other hand, Ridge, her longtime love, has clearly drawn a line in the sand, backing Steffi against the Logans and becoming even more distant from Brooke. If Cope's plan comes to light, it might not just be a Christmas disaster. It could be the end of Brooke and Ridge, as his loyalty to his family is now stronger than ever. But let's be real, the storyline is so bold that it could drag out longer than expected. Even if it wraps up by Christmas, forgiveness from Ridge feels like a far-off dream. In fact, if Hope is still holed up at the cabin, Ridge might be long gone by then, avoiding any awkward run-ins. Could you imagine? Brooke stuck between two worlds with her holiday cheer on the line? It's tough to say how this will pan out, but one thing's for sure, Brooke's holiday season is shaping up to be anything but merry. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys soon in the next video. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until next time, take care.